Will any of the Spurs rookies make an all-rookie NBA team?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kens 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Hope everybody's having a great work week. Getting ready for that weekend. It's right around the corner, everybody. Hang on tight. It's incoming. What are we talking about today? Well, we're going to be looking at these Spurs rookies, Blake Wesley, Malaki Branham, and Jeremy Sochan. Did they do enough to make themselves be named to an all-NBA rookie team, either first or second? We're going to be talking about that and then get into Popovich. No, not if he's retiring, more like if he stays and they go through another down season. Is that going to hurt his legacy? We're going to be talking about that and so much more right here on Locked On Spurs. Hey, this episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit, and with the same goes with your vehicle. So for the parts that fit, you want to head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Let's bring in our guest. He is back, everybody. Nick Mantas, my good friend, sports reporter in San Antonio. Nick, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
I know it never will tarnish your legacy. You coming on Locked On Spurs, that enhances your legacy.
That's why I'm doing it. You know, people are telling me you gotta go talk to this guy, Jeff Garcia. He knows what he's talking about. He's done some good stuff with these podcasts. So, you know, as somebody who's branching out and freelancing to a lot of different places and stuff, it's a pleasure to be on here with you.
Make sure to follow Nick on Twitter at Nick_Mantas. Make sure to do that right now. So it's about that time of the NBA season. It's winding down and, you know, playoffs are ramping up, but award season, you know, from MVP to all NBA first team, likely ain't no San Antonio Spurs going to make those categories, not even Popovich and coach of the year. But there's one area / categories that where Spurs could be represented, and that is the rookie teams, first or second. Spurs had 3 of them: Blake Wesley, Malaki Branham, Jeremy Sochan. All did well. You know, some maybe spent more time in Austin than the others. Nevertheless, not a bad trio of rookies. Let's start off with Blake Wesley. You know, technically he's eligible. He's a rookie.
Sure.
But I don't think he will probably find his way to any of these teams. Nick's your thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, you know, if you look at rookies that stood out on this team this year, you know, you kind of see it's obviously Jeremy Sochan and
Right.
Malaki Branham. Blake Wesley, unfortunately, had a little bit of a afterthought type of year as far as and stuff, and so it comes up in discussion as far as what these rookies were able to do and kind of look towards the future. But when it comes to the guys you think of as far as who are actually making an impact, it's Branham and Sochan that really did most of that lifting.
You know what? I'm thinking that if Blake Wesley, you know, perhaps I thought he was going to get a lot of run in the in this past season. You know, throw him out there, you know, let him have fun and develop. But he may be the rawest of the 3 because he's the one that spent the bulk of the time in Austin, which is no knock on him. I mean, everybody's done that, gone through the Spurs system, and not just Spurs system. All NBA teams use it, but you know, I'm still in a wait and see kind of approach with him. Whether or not, you know, he's going to pan out. I think the draft is going to have a lot to do with that, especially if they do get a Scoot Henderson. But I would not be surprised to see Blake Wesley in Austin next season again. Nick, your thoughts?
I agree. I think there's, you know, a lot of raw talent there. I think there's the ability to be a dominant shooting guard if he's able to use that 6'5" frame a little bit more to his advantage when it comes to his shooting ability. But when you look at the opportunities that he did have, you know, it came out to with one start that he had this season. He had 4 games where he had, you know, 10 points or more. Offensively, it wasn't really what I think a lot of Spurs fans were looking for when it came to a guy like Blake Wesley, and especially in that shooting guard position. We've mentioned that the backcourt a little bit more top heavy than it wants to be right now. And for the time that he had and the opportunity that he did have, it just kind of looked at, it was not really his year to
Right.
be a little bit more dominant comparing, guys like Malaki Branham, who probably got a little bit more of that shine or a little bit more ready for this level.
18 minutes a game in San Antonio, 37 games played, 5 points per game, 2.2 rebounds, 2-point assists for Blake Wesley. Again, a promising rookie, still raw. If his 3-point shot, 38%, that's got to improve. 32% from the field overall, that's got to improve. But hey, hopefully there are bigger things for Blake Wesley down the road. But Malaki Branham, my mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think Malaki. I have him right now in an honorable mention, position when it comes to the second team. And I think it's because of his position, and when you come to think about the size that he has and playing a small forward position, I put him in honorable mention just because I think Jaden Ivey from Detroit in the Pistons, I think he just had a better game or better season overall, and I think he just beats him out of that second team honor when it comes to seeing the things that he could do. Yes, he did have a lot of bright spots in those 66 games, 10 points, he averaged 3 rebounds, and just seeing his opportunities where he had 10 games with 20 points or more. The only thing that I think that kind of that people were looking at when it comes to maybe putting Jaden Ivey over him for that second team spot as far as a small forward position, I think it's just Ivey's ability to just jump out of a room is just really impressive.
Yeah.
And I think he was averaging somewhere around, I think it was 15 points a game, which just beats out Malaki when it comes to that. And he had a rookie best, I think it was five assists per game. And so it's just it was more entertaining, I think, to see Jaden Ivey, and I think that's why they have him in that position and putting Malaki as an honorable mention for the NBA All-Rookie second team. So
yeah, and I look at Malaki, and he's a piece that I think they can use to in this rebuild. I'm not ready to say for sure if they flip him this offseason, so be it. I get it. But if he's continue on with San Antonio as the rebuild continues, wouldn't be mad about that at all.
Yeah,
his game is just what can you say? He was kind of shy attacking the rim. He got much more aggressive. His confidence built throughout the season, really took off late in the season where he was just scoring almost at will. You look at some of the games that he performed, closed out the season with 20 points in a win versus Dallas. He had 21 points at Phoenix, 21 points versus Utah on March 29th. So he definitely can score. I would like to see him improve a little bit more on the defensive end. Obviously, the 3-point shot, everybody can use work on that. 0 for 2 versus Minnesota out in Austin, 0 for 5 versus Portland out in Austin on April 6th. That needs to come up. But as far as him making a case for an NBA All-Rookie team, I think he can do it. And I got a feeling, though, Nick, some fans who are going to be flipping tables if he doesn't make it because he became a fan favorite, late in the season. And had a rocky start in the summer league. I don't know if you caught that, depending on where you were in your career, but his summer league was a little rocky.
Okay.
Very shy, very timid, but he was a late bloomer. And you saw that again duplicated itself during the regular season. A little bit of slow start to this rookie season, late bloomer came on. So I'm high on him. What are your thoughts about his future?
I think his future is really bright, honestly. I mean, the fact that we're even putting him as a possibility of being right there with Sochan on that second team, shows the ability for him to have a future that I think is going to be really bright offensively. And like you just mentioned, in those games that he was dropping some big points towards the end of the season, but even in that 39th game of the year against, I think it was against Philly, he dropped 26. I mean, you just see the way in which he was just becoming more comfortable even in this system. I think he has the ability to really be one of the key pieces of this organization moving forward. I would be very, very, very shocked if the Spurs decided to move on or flip him in any type of way. I know it's a opportunity to probably get something in the future. I really do see his ability to be on this team as somebody that the team overall needs. You got to have somebody. Teams that make a great run are always deep with talent, and I think having a guy like that, whether he comes off the bench or not next year, I think he's going to be a key piece for this organization moving forward.
Absolutely. He is Nick Mantas. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Nick_Mantas. We're talking about the San Antonio Spurs rookies and if they have the case to make an all-rookie NBA team. So far, we kind of said no to Blake, but we're giving a thumbs up that he has a shot to making that be Malaki Branham right here on Locked On Spurs. But before we continue, we're going to be talking about Jeremy Sochan next. So that's going to be a good conversation there. Oh, yes. I want to talk to you about eBay Motors. Look, you got to check out eBay Motors right now. As mentioned, for a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know that the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. But we're not done talking here. I want to talk to you about my favorite new local San Antonio company / coffee spot I got to go to, and that is Mudslinger's drive-through coffee. It is awesome. Hey, look, if you stayed up late last night or you just need a quick pick-me-up, go to Mudslinger's drive-through coffee right now. Locally owned, independent coffee shop. They're proud to make delicious coffee for our community. They do it fast and friendly so you can get on with your day. So if you're in the mood for a latte, cold brew, or a Red Bull infused lightning bolt, they have drinks for every taste. They also have a wide selection of dairy alternatives, low-calorie options, and even caffeine-free drinks for those who want to just take it easy. Go to Mudslinger's drive-through coffee for a tasty and convenient caffeine fix located at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive near 281 and 1604. They're open every day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Life is too short for a bland coffee. Go to Mudslinger's drive-through coffee right now. Let's go and continue our chat with Nick Mantas, my good friend, sports reporter in San Antonio. And we're talking about your silver and black. It's Sochan time / Showtime. Yeah, if any of the three rookies have a shot to make the all-rookie team first or second, like almost a lock, has to be him. Part of the NBA All-Star Rising team this past season. Shock everybody about his ability to score, something we didn't see out of Baylor. He's just opened eyes. Not too bad for was it a number 7 pick or I don't remember what he was, but nevertheless, he has to make it. I mean, are we close to a lock, Nick, with him, or are we still kind of there on the borderline?
I think he's a lock. And I know Spurs fans might get on me for this. He's a lock for the second team. He's not a lock for the first team. And the only reason is because Paolo Banchero beats him out for that power forward position as far as being on the first team. Because Paolo Banchero, honestly, is most likely going to win Rookie of the Year. Let's be real. He's had an absolutely insane first year playing for the Magic. He deserves all the accolades that he's going to get this offseason. And I really do see that's well deserved for him to be the first team power forward as far as all NBA rookie team. That leaves the opening for Jeremy Sochan, though, to be on that second team as far as the all rookie team. And the outstanding season he was able to have, creating in a system that I think really gave him the freedom to really learn the speed of the NBA game, I think was perfect for him. And that just put the icing on the cake for a season that people probably don't even want to even look at ever again. But to see Jeremy have a season like he did, 11 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, just the way in which he's able to create and kind of have a little bit of a mostly in some, I want to call them kind of the tougher parts of the game, but maybe in certain altercations, he showed a little bit of his, tough, British neighborhood type of kid. He's got a little, got a little tough side to him and stuff here and there, and you have to, and that's it. Being a power forward and stuff. And so I'm excited to see what he could do moving forward, and I think he absolutely deserves the opportunity to be on that second team when it comes to all NBA rookie team.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. And especially in that All-Star game, the Rising Stars Challenge,
Yeah.
really impressed, really aggressive. And I like that he can, he showed just so many dimensions to his game this past season. He showed a little bully ball sometimes with a back
Yeah.
to the back, really taking advantage of undersized players that are trying to defend him in the post. I like that he is taking threes. Now, granted that it didn't fall, but for the most of the part, but was working on it. The one-handed free throw shot really went to that, adapted it. Even was messing with some of the guys at the rookie game as they were trying to learn from him how to shoot it. Overall, he's making a strong case for a first team. Would you be upset though, Nick, if he falls to the all-rookie second team?
No, not at all. And I think it like I would go back to what I was saying. I think it just goes into who was just a little bit better than him this year. The first team, you see a lot of guys in there, depending on the position, who the teams and the organizations have to rely on them to absolutely do everything. And since the Spurs have a squad that's a little bit younger and wants to kind of work together, especially in a Popovich system that is always going to rely on players working together, it kind of led to Jeremy being able to create in different ways, but not having the pressure of having to be the guy. Paolo Banchero really has to be the guy for that organization, for the Magic, and to see the fact that Jeremy doesn't have to be that guy, I think it just leads to the different opportunities for different guys, and I that's why I would not be disappointed in seeing him get that second team, because beat out by Paolo Banchero, who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Sochan really got a lot of accolades throughout his rookie season, whether it be internally, just with his own teammates. It was to the point, Nick, where we saw even some of the quote unquote veterans, the young vets on the roster, whenever Sochan was out, saying like how they need him on that court, and that being Sochan. You had Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson saying how they can't wait till all three of those guys get more significant time to get some chemistry going. That's high praise right there.
Yeah.
And I like that nastiness. You brought it up, that English neighborhood vibe.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that he won't back down, gets under the skin of opposing players. Very Dennis Rodman-like. Obviously, he didn't want to take it to the Worm level. Worm would literally kick players while they're on the ground, and try to trip them up, ask Karl Malone.
Yeah.
But, and I like what too, he's not only Spurs fan friendly, but NBA fan friendly, really good outgoing personality, the colorful hair, but he gets the job done on the court. Yeah.
Right.
He has to make one of the all NBA rookie teams. I think Spurs fans will really be flipping tables if he's not even named on there. So
yeah, if he doesn't make a second team, then things will unfortunately happen in this city that we don't want to see, especially right before Fiesta. Like we should be celebrating and enjoying this time of the year, and just in getting excited for Fiesta coming up. And we should, if Jeremy Sochan doesn't make the NBA second team, I think people's jaws will absolutely scrape pavement. It's going to be absolutely insane. So
the Locked On NBA network guys, we all got together and did our media or Locked On votes for various awards, from Coach of the Year to MVP, etc. And there was a category for all rookie teams, and I voted for Malaki and Jeremy, and I think Jeremy made it.
Okay.
So if that's any kind of litmus test, there's, probably likely that's how it's going to sort out.
Absolutely.
In the real deal, that being the NBA running. But yeah, again, and look, if for some reason, which I would be stunned if he doesn't, but if Sochan doesn't make it, I hope if I'm his teammates, I'm plastering those votes on his locker room and saying, look what they did. They didn't vote you in there. Hey, your sophomore season's coming up. You don't want to use that as fuel,
right?
But all in all, look, I think all signs are pointing to Sochan making an all-rookie NBA team. Hopefully it's first, but
Yeah.
hey, if he makes the second, hey, kudos to him. When we get back, we're going to be shifting gears now. We're talking about Coach Pop. Another down season for him under his resume. Is that a good thing or a bad thing as he is staring at what could possibly be the final season of his NBA career right here on Locked On Spurs with my good friend Nick Mantas. But before we continue, I want to talk to you about FanDuel. Look, grand slams, no hitters, double plays, they're all back. And there's no better place than to get on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's because right now, new customers can set up on the plate with a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just go to fanduel.com/lockdown to sign up right now. Place your first bet. Get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win. So if you want to bet on if a pitcher's going to go over the strikeouts or, Aaron Judge is going to pick up where he left off with a home run, you can do that on FanDuel. Don't miss out your chance to get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to fanduel.com/lockdown to sign up. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball. And once again, I want to remind you about Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Again, locally owned right here in San Antonio. It's the great coffee shop you want to go to. They're proud to make delicious coffee for our San Antonio community. They do it fast and friendly so you get on with your day. Again, they got lattes, they got cold brew, they got Red Bull infused lightning bolts. They got a good menu. They have drinks for every taste. And if you need those dairy alternatives, they got it too. Low calorie options, they got it. Caffeine free drinks, they got it. All for those who just want to take it easy. Go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee right now for a tasty and convenient caffeine fix located at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive near 21 and 1604. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Life is too short for bland coffee. All right, Nick, let's continue our chat here right on Locked On Spurs. By the way, everybody, make sure to follow Nick on Twitter at Nick_Mantas. So, Nick, another down season for the Spurs, another down season under the resume of Gregg Popovich. This is now already a little more, maybe a handful, if not a little bit more, of seasons of missing the postseason. Make sure the big three era is done. What could have been with Kawhi Leonard, that ain't going to happen again. But you got to wonder if, as he's staring the light at the end of the tunnel of his NBA coaching career, do you think these down seasons, missed playoffs, rebuilding phase is going to hurt his legacy?
No, I wouldn't say that, because I think when you look at a legacy, you look at an overall career. And if you have the most wins as a head coach in the history of the league, yeah, your legacy is pretty intact. I would say it hurts as far as the way in which Spurs fans view him and the way he's going out. Obviously, everyone wants to win an NBA championship and then ride off into the sunset. But when it comes to what he's been able to do overall, I think as a legacy, he's pretty locked in as far as now being a Hall of Famer and then going into the sunset whenever he decides he will do that. Unfortunately, with a season like this, looking at it, worst record since his first one, where they only won 17 games. Obviously in a shorter year than that one was, and only had 64 games that season. But when you look over his ability to take teams that maybe didn't have the most advanced skill set people in the entire league and put together a team that can work together, I think his legacy for what he was able to do for the Spurs is their NBA championships, but also what he was able to do as far as really amping up and bolstering the ability for international talent to be taken seriously, as we've talked about before on this show. I think his legacy is fully intact as one of the best coaches to ever coach in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think there's bigger things you want to cook him for if you're going to go at his legacy. Perhaps the biggest one is not defending an NBA title. I mean, maybe that's one. That's the top of my head. But outside of that, no. I mean, I think his resume is just so strong, so solid. He's going to be in the Basketball Hall of Fame in just a few short months.
Right.
So, no, I think if anything, his career is so strong. These down seasons are just kind of like the afterthought in his book. That ending credit scene. that bonus credit scene in a Marvel MCU movie that
There it
just
is.
shows them again, like going back to the drawing board, with these young kids, and then he
Right.
sails off into the sunset. I think his legacy is intact. Does he get a lot of you know kind of shady looks at him online? Yeah, he does. Like, you see some NBA fans, look, another down season for the great Popovich. What has he done? But all great NBA coaches had great NBA players, from Phil Jackson to Pat Riley to Spoelstra. That's just part of the game. You
Yeah.
got to have the horses in the game to be a great coach. It's just about managing those personalities, and he definitely did that with the big three. And look, luck has to get in there sometime. I mean, how many times
Right.
have you seen Popovich say, "Hey, look, I probably wouldn't be in my position that I am right now without Tim Duncan." So even he knows it too.
Yeah, he said
So
no
yeah,
Duncan, no banners. I mean,
yeah,
that's what he always says, and so it's really interesting to see that there is a possibility for people to look bad on him as he's leaving, because it's not the success that they were hoping for, especially after 2014 season when you win another NBA championship after years of not having one. I think the way in which people are tired of seeing the Spurs losing
right.
puts a tarnish on the organization overall. But as far as him as a coach, yeah, I think his legacy is still pretty
Yeah.
locked in. And one note I actually also want to mention is just on a personal level. I did not realize this until doing research before we hopped on this podcast. But he actually went to Maryville High School in Maryville, Indiana, which is where my mom went to high school.
Get out.
So I need to
Wow.
hop on my phone and talk with my mom. He was born in East Chicago, Indiana, which is a lot of turmoil between actual Chicago, and I won't get into all of that. But he did grow up. He did go to Maryville High School in Maryville, Indiana. And so anybody listening who's from that Indiana area, who went to Maryville High, I'm gonna have to message me, and maybe all of a sudden we realize there's a lot of people out here who may be classmates with my mom at some point from Maryville High School. Go Pirates!
Wow. That is pretty
All
cool,
world,
man. That is,
yeah.
yeah, that is really, really, really cool. He is Nick Mantas. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Nick_Mantas. Speaking of Nick, what you got cooking? What you got working? I know you've been covering the Brahmas, and probably not too good time for the San Antonio team, huh?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough to see the Brahmas, have a home game like they did this past week against Houston, and I was there at the game and just kind of watching as a fan, and just kind of being in the area, and just getting a sense of the vibe of the games, which were really, really cool. And it was on Easter too, so the crowd was a little bit less than you were probably expecting, because
Mm-hmm.
people are probably going to spend that time with their families. But as far as the game overall, the game went into overtime. There's a lot of fight from this group. The XFL teams are the rules are absolutely insane, where you can get the ball back and go for a 4th and 15 to try to get like a game-winning drive, and that's the way that
Mm-hmm.
the Brahmas were able to send it to overtime. So if you haven't gone out to a game yet, there's a couple of home games left. They're facing elimination coming into this next week, so didn't want to turn this into a Brahmas podcast, but it's been really exciting
Yeah.
to see football here, especially spring football in this area. So it's been fun, and having a lot of fun doing that, and chronicling that season. And guy who I covered actually in when I was working up at Lansing, he played at Michigan State. His
Mm-hmm.
starting defensive end, Drew Beasley, is number 33 on the team. So he's been doing pretty good, and seeing a lot of improvement from him. Hopefully he'll get a call to come out to training camp to a couple of
Yeah.
teams this summer, which will be great for him and his career. But for as far as me, I'm been doing a lot of freelancing and talking with some people around town about doing some work. And but definitely follow me on my Instagram, and follow me on my Instagram is Nick Mantas TV. Put a lot of work on there, as we mentioned. My Twitter. Gonna start working on my YouTube page as well. Might do some podcast stuff on my own, or some video stuff with some breakdowns for just like you've mentioned, the Instagram game is starting to reach new levels.
Yeah,
So trying
really
to get
is.
some more stuff on there. So some more videos that'll break down some more stuff. But yeah, no, things are going good here, and and really excited for the next couple of months of being here in San Antonio and talking with a couple people about doing some more work, sports reporting wise. So we'll see how that pans out. And having only been here for a couple of months, I'm really excited to see what people keep telling me about Fiesta. I got to get ready for it.
Wait, is this your first Fiesta?
This is my first Fiesta, my man.
Holy smokes! Well, just think Mardi Gras.
Okay.
For a solid week. That's the best way I can explain it to you. It's just really Mardi Gras, 7 days a week.
Okay.
It's spiced up a bit. You know, you're going to get your parades, your afternoon parades, your evening parades, parade on the river. Those are kind of the staples.
Okay.
But it's like those kind of more of the hidden, tucked away events that you really want to go to. I recommend the VFW on the Riverwalk. That's a really good fun one. I would recommend anywhere. Oh, well, let me frame you. There, you're going to hear something a lot. You're going to hear something called NIOSA. You hear that a lot. And that's called Night in Old San Antonio.
Okay.
Brace yourself. If you go, make sure you're dressed comfortably. Make sure you have closed shoes because beer will be spilled on your feet if you're wearing sandals.
Okay.
So don't want to go through that.
Oh, God.
It can get a little rowdy there. So just a heads up.
All right.
But that's kind of like the highlight / the centerpiece of the week.
Okay.
But yeah, those little site. I don't know where you live in San Antonio. If you live downtown, then there's something called the King Williams Fair. That's just fun, chill, low key.
Yeah.
Live bands. Yeah, but yeah, if you go to kind of the bigger ones like the Carnival or the NIOSA, it's shoulder to shoulder crowded. That's how bad it gets. Man. It's really, and then you're in the South Texas heat, so that doesn't help. But you're gonna have fun.
Okay,
just be safe. Okay, you're probably gonna, after the week is over, you're gonna probably feel you need to spend a whole week in the gym, running about 2 hours a day. You're gonna be eating a lot of food, chicken on a stick.
Okay,
and get ready for Fiesta medals.
I've seen a lot of those at different places that I've been shopping, and I'm in the actually in the kind of near King William. I have a small little apartment next to Hemisphere Park. So we're going to King William. We're going to being in La Bahita and that area and stuff. I think will be great. But yeah, no, I'm definitely going to make sure that my workouts are staying consistent throughout the entire week, just because I'm hearing that there's a lot of good eating, a lot of good partying and stuff to be had during that time, which is exciting, which is really exciting. And I've heard people actually weigh their medals after the decades upon decades that they've been having, and the winner who has the heaviest medals or the amount of medals, is there a prize to have each year?
That I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure there is a prize. So, but yeah, you're going to see people wearing sashes on sashes of medals,
right? Yeah.
And they trade them, and you could make deals. You'll see different companies in San Antonio make exclusive medals.
Yeah,
a lot of Spurs themed medals. You're going to see a lot of that. Also, too, you're going to hear this phrase a lot. You probably heard it already. Show me your shoes. So be ready for that. Be ready for that.
What does that mean?
Show me. So basically, during the parades, if you hit one up, whether it be night or afternoon, as the floats go by, you're going to hear the fans, I'm thinking Spurs games, the crowds say, show me your shoes. So as every float passes by, people on the float will lift up their pant leg and literally show them their shoes. That's it.
Huh.
So you'll hear that a lot. So there's a little tip to integrate into San Antonio. If you just say, show me your shoes, people will likely follow you in a chant. So heads up on that.
Nice.
Once again, he is Nick Mantas. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Nick_Mantas. Especially if you're in San Antonio, give him some surviving San Antonio tips right now.
Please,
and we thank you. Yes. We thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. We like to call you the everydayers. You guys have been great. You're here with us every day. So keep on being an everydayer right here on Locked On Spurs. For your second listen, check out Locked On Game to Game. NBA playoffs are here. Playing games are here. Locked On NBA Game to Game will keep you up with all the latest scores, reactions, local analysis. So Locked On Game to Game should be your second listen. And as always, Locked On Spurs, your first listen. Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube, Odyssey app, iTunes. The list goes on and on. So for Nick, show me your shoes, Mantas. I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.